What's up, y'all? This is a little precursor to the video. This feels like an intense message that channeled through. If this video found you though, I'm trusting that you are ready for this information. Even my mind is a little bit like grappling with it on a human level, but I understand it on a soul level. This non-duality that's coming through and judgment, and just moving more into non-duality, but being aware of judgments. Okay, I'm not going to say any more, but I just want to name that before you watch the rest of this. There's a meditation that comes through also, and yeah, the channeled message from Mary Magdalene is very interesting also, but very powerful. So if you're here, I trust you're here for a reason. Love you. What's up, y'all? Okay, it's been a minute since a message has come through, and I've really just been in this place of allowing when the time feels right, which is lovely, because in the past, when I was growing my business and using social media, I would be like, I haven't made a video yet and I need to make a video, and learning about my human design and different aspects of my blueprint as a human in this lifetime. Waiting for the right time for when it feels called and in alignment is absolutely key for me. So anyways, here we are. I am feeling called to do a channeling from Mary Magdalene, and then also share some of my personal life experiences and stories that are relative to what the topic is, which is non-duality. This topic is so interesting to me because we live in a world of duality, right? We have light, we have dark. And this message of non-duality has been coming through to urging me to stand more in non-duality. I've also heard a couple other messages where from other people I respect that share like this on non-duality, and really being in a place of non-judgment, really taking the charge out of, like, this is good, this is bad, instead labeling it as light and dark, and light being like a space of growth, dark being a state of contraction, like no light, right? There's opposites. And so darkness would also be like hatred, judgment. So we all vacillate between light and dark. So there is no one complete light being, right? We all hold light and dark. There is no one totally dark being. They also hold light and dark. And how this is showing up in my life lately is noticing where, for my whole life, first of all, I was raised Catholic, and always like having this awareness of good and bad, and like that's evil, that's the devil. I was very afraid of like demonic stuff, and my best friend is actually really into horror. She jokes around and says Hail Satan and like stuff like that, and I was like, like, we kind of have to talk about this, like that's not okay. And we had a like great conversation about how there's actually darkness in even religions, where there's people that are supposed to be people of the light that are manipulating and putting darkness and twisting and manipulating teachings and taking advantage of people. That happens everywhere. And it was a really great conversation, because there's this awareness in me that there is a benefit to the light and the dark, right? Like the dark goddesses, Kali and Hecate, like if you look at any dark origin story, they have been shunned. They have their own origin of where that darkness came from, usually from rejection. So long story long here, the awareness of light and dark being really an energy and an opportunity for growth. Because we don't want to stay in darkness, but we want to realize when we have judgment or anger come up. And that really is the soul asking for change from a situation, right? Probably distance from what you feel like you're judging. Like if it's a family member or just like hanging out with someone and you have different ways of viewing the world or how you want to live your life and you're judging them, instead of judging them, it's a call to say, hey, I see that you want to live your life that way and I respect that. That's not in alignment for me. And that's okay, right? That's where God, Source, Spirit, my team is asking this message to be delivered, where it's like, and through my own testimony of life, is that it's not our job to say you're good or you're bad for your belief system. That's why this world is stuck in a parallel freeze and fighting together. Because everybody's judging each other. It's like if you want to be gay, bisexual, if you want to be a they, them, that's fine. If that doesn't work for somebody else's belief systems, that's also fine. We can coexist and live together, right? Maybe just have our own little pods. Like if people think that my energy work is a bunch of bullshit, that's fine. I might think what they do is bullshit. That's also fine. Can we still be respectful to each other and say, that's not an alignment for me and my truth? Yes, absolutely. Because we are all facets and fractals of God's source energy experiencing this human form or physical form. And we all have our own guidance system leading us to what we feel in alignment with. And that's different for all of us. And it's actually right for every single one of us. So we can't sit here and say it's wrong for someone else, right? That's so hypocritical. So I hope this is making sense. What I've also been called to in my own life is realizing where I'm in judgment. And in sessions, a lot of the times there are entity attachments. I would say almost 100% of the time. Yeah, people have entity attachments and removing them. And sometimes I get irritated, especially if it's like, a darker, heavier entity attachment that's like taking energy. And what's been popping up into my mind and awareness and what I've been hearing is stop judging it. It's just an energy. It's an energetic contract agreement on a soul level with this entity and this person that I'm clearing, so that that belief system, that energetic imprinting loop is something that they've been experiencing up until this now moment, because the awareness is here to shift it and release it. And stop judging it, right? It is what it is. It's just time to release it. The entities are doing their job too. And we've all had experience being light and dark. Those entities wanted in their own lifetime of these entities, wanted to experience that darkness of taking energy from another, but that soul contract was in agreement beforehand, or even unconscious in the now, but on a soul contract, you had it, made that agreement, if that makes sense. If you're here, I'm sure it makes sense. And another place where I was judging was, I took my daughter to the pool and we always save the little bugs, and I've been noticing other people saving the bugs and other moms and little kids, and it's like, oh, that's so sweet. And these little boys, when we were leaving, were taking their shoes and killing these bugs, and I was like, don't kill the bugs. I was totally judging them and said that. And I was like, it flashed into my mind, my spirit team saying Jody, you kill the flies in your house. And I was like, you're right. I kill the flies in my house. I open the door, I tell them to go, And if they don't leave, I'm killing them because I don't want all the flies in my house whenever they get in. So it's like, I can't sit here and pretend to be high and mighty when sometimes I kill the flies. And being in a place of judgment is the dark energy, right? So that's something else I've noticed, like in the spiritual community. It's like a lot of times people trying to be all light, and that's just not realistic. Sometimes, like this past year, I have worked with Kali, Hecate, some of the darker, the Dakini warriors, some of the darker energies, to call them in to cut off energies that are no longer in alignment, because we have to stand in that dark power to do so. Like, I even tell my daughter when I have to discipline her for something, if I'm talking sternly, she's like, Mama, you're talking sternly. I'm like, well, baby, you know, it's not as, I've tried it. You don't listen to me when I say, baby, I need you to listen to me. Like, it doesn't work the same, right? When I stand in my power and say, hey, I need you to listen to me right now. It's a very different energy, and it's a very different calling of my power to this moment. And that's applicable to all areas of life. Sometimes you need to stand in that power. So realizing you are not all light, you are not all dark, you are both, and you listen to what is in your heart in every now moment. Sometimes you need to stand up and say no to something, right? If there's an abuse happening to you or a family member, and you stand in your dark power and banish that, fight it off, that is something that you are called to do in this now moment from your higher self guidance system, and that's an alignment for you. If you are in your dark power taking advantage of someone and stealing money from them, that's not in alignment, right? That's just an example of when you're in light or dark. But if it's used in the proper ways, right? Same thing with light energy. Like, I can't go around and just do energy work on a stranger because it's not in their free will agreement. That would be a misuse of light. We need to have agreement. I may think that I'm helping that person, but it might not be on their soul contract to have that in this moment in time. And it's not my choice to decide what's right for them, right? Okay. I hope that makes sense. I'm sure it does, but please leave a comment letting me know if it does, and stay tuned because I'm going to call in Mary Magdalene right now for a channeled message. So, okay, I've been called to use these lately, these chimes. Just this frequency, removing any disharmonic, distorted frequencies. Calling in Mary Magdalene to channel through a message for this collective. Thank you so much. Hello, non-duality. Yes, we have been bringing this through Jody, really alerting her as to where she is in a place of judgment of what is a lot of the time what we see humans doing right now is judging something as right or wrong, coming from a place of ego. That is right, this is wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. And the message that we want to bring through at this time is that there is no right or wrong for others. You will have your own guidance system, and that's going to be right for you. And then there's going to be the guidance system for others, and that's going to be right for them. The image that just flashed into my mind for those in this collective was, what about horrific abuse? That question that comes up. What about those who are abusing children? Sexual abuse, sex trafficking. Those horrific abuses are also soul contracts. And the people that feel in alignment to bring light to those situations and save those children, those people, that is their mission. The people who also were here to carry out those horrific abuses, that is also their soul mission. And to really stand in a place of, I know those of you in this collective would never agree with those abuses. So you say, I am not in agreement with that type of abuse or manipulation of power over another person, soul, individual. And we're not saying that like to do that, but to be in a place of neutrality where you say, I don't agree with that, and I distance myself from that because it's a frequency mismatch, right? It's vibrationally not a match for you. It's being in a space of understanding that it's not the energy for you and noticing that. But when you stay in a vibration of anger, rage, judgment at whatever the distortion is, whatever the manipulation is, you lower your frequency vibration into that same space of judgment, anger, rage. And so that's where this non-duality comes, where you notice it, understand there's a soul level of experience of God's source happening through all souls simultaneously in all time and space that is all now, right now, in this quantum field. Without darkness, there is not light. And we are in a time for you humans right now, humanity, 2025, of more shifting to light. A release of more darkness. So with this release of more darkness, of this power over others, control, judgment, releasing of that, we want you, I am here to guide you into more non-duality so that you can release more of those darkness energies of judgment, anger, rage, power over others. In every now moment, releasing those energies from yourself. Because the shift that is happening on Mother Gaia right now is happening through every single one of you. So the more you be in a space of non-duality in every now moment, you hold a higher vibration, allowing what is to unfold, having compassion for any darkness that feels vibrationally very out of alignment in yourself, holding compassion for those victims, those people experiencing it, and move forward in non-duality, but holding the vision for what you want to create in your reality. Jody's been practicing this a lot, and we've been channeling it through her because she can be quite feisty as her human self and be in this place of a warrior, anger, rage. And it's been beneficial for her throughout her lifetime. But there is also a space where it takes on like the righteous person being too much in ego. And we want to use her as an example because it's important to understand where you step too much into judgment and then hold yourself back. And you are the main character of your reality. You get to shift worlds through your experience. So when you call your energy back to you out of the darkness, lower vibration of judgment and anger, you can move forward into what you want to create, being in a state of peace, joy, love. And I'm not here to say that banish away the darker, lower vibrational energies, because those will come up naturally. Just like Jody was saying with the example of abuse, if you are experiencing abuse or someone is gaslighting you or lying to you, and you know that is a lie and it's not your truth, your experience, you are feeling anger because that is your soul telling you something is not in alignment and it's time to go. It's time to distance yourself from this person, place, situation. When you realize that everything you're experiencing, every emotion, every feeling is just your internal guidance system, you can look at it with that space of non-duality. Oh, this feels incredibly off. Something feels wrong here. And then ask yourself, why does it feel wrong for me? Is it abusive? Is this other person being in perpetual judgment? And that vibrational energy is affecting your vibrational energy? If so, it's time to have some distance from that person, place, establishment. And thanking that experience for what it did bring you. Everything in your life has brought something to you. Even if it's a blessing, the saying goes, a blessing in the pile of shit, or something like that, where there's something good that comes out of the bad experience, because there's an element of growth always. I'd like to guide you all on a meditation at this time. Breathing in for 4 counts, starting from the lower belly, putting one hand on the lower belly, one on the heart, breathing with intention from the lower belly, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 5, hold for 5, Breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 5. Hold for 5. In for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 5. Hold for 5. There's a golden sphere around your whole being. Golden light. And this light is beautiful, and it is around you, encompassing you, holding you. And zooming out, seeing that this light only goes so far. And beyond that is darkness. And seeing the darkness, the vast void outside of your light, seeing that without that darkness, we would never see your light. Without that contrast, you would never see your truth. It's like the story, the Native American story of the two wolves. You all have the dark wolf and the light wolf within. Which one are you feeding? Sometimes you need to feed the dark one. Sometimes you need to feed the light one. And not judging yourself for when you do have to do it, but realizing, am I in alignment in doing so? Is this call to be in darkness standing for truth? Standing for my truth? Protecting myself? Or is this darkness power over another, judgment of another that is harmful? I want you to now float up above yourself. And you see your whole timeline of your life. You're going to go back. Your high self is going to bring you back to the first moment where you were told you were good. What did you do? Why were you good? What made you good? What made you being you in your lightness? Seeing how this fed in and wired in, what does good equal to your ego? And how that has changed and manipulated how you act as a human to be good. Now I want you to see your high self bring you to the place in your timeline where you were first told that you were bad. What happened? Why were you told you were bad? What did you do? this bad energy that you internalized resulted in judgment, blame of self, which is heavy, dark energy within the self. And on the other side, the good energy sometimes was manipulated to be perceived as good, saying the right thing, right? Sometimes people pleasing, but at the cost of abandoning yourself. We want to, at this moment in time, release these first memories, perceptions, experiences of being told you're good, you're bad. Forgiving self, forgiving others. Realizing that you've been on your path and you've been doing everything exactly how you were supposed to. So taking the charge of good, bad, judgment of yourself, of others, out from past memories in this lifetime. Forgiving yourself. Realizing that trying to be good or trying to avoid being bad keeps you in a loop of duality. Forgiving self, forgiving others in these moments on the timeline. Now going above, looking at your timeline, viewing your whole entire life. And now looking at 3 major points in your life. Your highest self is going to bring you to them. You don't necessarily have to know them time, date, but impressions very quickly in this now moment of where you judged other people for being good or bad. And it was such an extreme judgment that it really threw you off from being your authentic self. There was such judgment of these situations. Now with these major points, we're asking the superconscious self to cleanse, clear, delete, forgive, and forget. Forgiving the others, forgiving yourself for this judgment. Release. And moving forward in a space of non-duality. Realizing that these were soul agreements on all levels, and releasing judgment, holding compassion and love for all involved, including yourself. And also understanding if you felt rage, anger, that's also okay. It's a tricky one, but we know you understand. Feel the feelings, understand the message, and move forward like a samurai practicing They know what to cut away, what to nurture and grow. That's what is now being asked of you in every now moment. Now going back up above your timeline. Golden white light is now showering, washing over your entire timeline. Past, present, future, parallel, and now. You hold the key and the power for shifting worlds, for shifting reality into a rebalancing, a time of more light on your planet. And in carrying that out, the key is moving into more non-duality, releasing judgments, observing them when they come up, encapsulating judgment in golden light and releasing it. What is the learning? What is the teaching? What is this judgment asking of you? And move forward. The dark and light wolves within, dark and light dragons are spiraling up from the sacral chakra, up the heart, through the heart, through the throat, through the third eye, up through the crown, up into your star chakra. Calling upon your power into the now. Divine power moves through you now, pouring through this portal that has connected you, your light and dark energies, to God, Source, Spirit, bringing your divine power into the now. In alignment with integrity, authenticity, love, and power. Power of your true self in alignment with your highest self and the good of all. Your mission here is to empower and uplift humanity, Mother Gaia, and all beings. This power is being condensed down into a crystal of light in your heart space. It is both dark and light equally, this crystal. It is a brilliant, light, bright color, and also a brilliant, dark color. And it is equal, both half and half. You now see that your darkness is not always bad. Your light is not always good. There can be manipulation of both. But when you are in alignment with your highest self, your internal guidance system will guide you into expressing these energies with integrity, authority, and power. Just like a king needs to protect his kingdom, or a queen, he or she will use force to protect those people, those children, the elderly, the animals. That is asserting darkness energetically to protect. But that would be in an alignment with what is true for that king and queen. That is what is being asked of you in this now moment, moving forward. Follow your internal guidance system. Be in integrity, authenticity. Do what is in the highest good of all, including yourself. And release excessive judgment. Judgment is just a tool asking you to be aware of what is not in alignment, and that's okay. Think it, bless it, move along, distance yourself from the thing that does not feel in alignment. This seed, crystal seed, both dark and light within you, is unique. What does it look like? What does it feel like? It is both equal because you need the light and the dark, and honoring the light and the dark that arises within you. And being aware of light and dark in society, reality, on your earth, in your human realm, where there may be imbalance of light and dark, and noticing where it doesn't feel in alignment or where it does feel in alignment, where do the balances, where does it feel off, and why? Ask yourself why, and understand that whatever you're receiving as the answer is just information for you to discern how to align with what is in alignment more. And you have the power to create that. This all starts with you. We love you, we love you, we love you. Thank you. I love you very much. Mary Magdalene. I will talk to you soon. What's up, y'all? That was, oh my God, that was really long. Okay, if you made it to the end, leave a wolf or dragons, maybe light and dark, somehow light and dark, dark moon, sun. There were a couple times where I almost thought that I should stop and re-record this because some of the information that was coming through feels like a lot, but I'm just gonna accept that this is the message that needed to come through, and it feels like a lot of information, I guess, is just what my human self is saying, but it also makes sense to me, and I am embracing and trusting that if you're here receiving this message, it is also meant for you, and it's going to make sense to you, with maybe some aha moments, because they've been aha moments for me for a little bit now, and I know that I'm guided and told to share them for a reason. But that felt powerful, and please leave me comments. I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, love you. If you feel called to work with me, I do quantum energy healing sessions and help shift, release, bring different things to an energetic neutral space of neutrality, so that you're not in this energetic time loop where patterns have been stuck, sometimes for lifetimes or within your ancestral, or parallel lifetimes. There's many different ways that energies can get stuck, and we bring them, release those to bring to a space of neutrality, so you can attract different experiences and that are not rooted in the trauma or the dis-ease that have been stuck in a time loop for you. Okay, I love you. I'm debating if I should really post this, but if you're here and I did it, cheers. Love you. Until next time.